Well, hello, people. I know I do like 4 or 5 of these at a night because I try to put down all my different parts of the situation or whatever it is. I know a lot of it's old and stuff like this. Like this one, I'm going to go over. It's just going to be a short one, mostly because the hacker's behind me, off to my back, right here. They rattle off of something in the gas line or something else like that. I guess for the air conditioner or something else, bolt or panel. Makes a little hum or something else. And they're like, Colin, I think you're about to get banned from YouTube. And they shut down the internet and everything else. And they go on about how all I need to do is have just a standard, no one can hook up to my computer as a hotspot, personal firewall that I made. But it's knocked out the internet at the house. And it's like, don't worry, Colin's not going to be putting up any more on YouTube for anybody to see. And they're dumber than me because the girl they're trying to impress is a fake picture on some dating site that I was talking to. And, you know, can't get my money back because they say it was entertainment. Even though the person that was pretending to be them got 75% of anything I paid on a dating website and sent it off to some offshore seas account. So, how people pay for things. But I try to not make waves because I know politically I just can't date anybody around here. Well, anyway, enough with the personal digression, since everybody's always in my personal life. Bread. Have you heard about bread with possibly making problems with us and the French out there? Somehow it's supposed to be connected back to French pigeons being fed bread. But this is what bread is. In poor societies, there's not really any way to move themselves up or anything else. In poor societies, do they not need law enforcement to protect those that are there so they can try to make something of themselves? Find a tax incentive, public money, something else, entrepreneurial investment, etc., and move themselves up and get real protection. Well, this is what bread is. It's been around since the 60s. Show up and shoot and fire at people like they did in Knoxville in the 80s. And you just come out there and basically unload one gun, have everybody wear basically the same color pattern, have everything as standard body proportions, everything else, like certain marching bands do. You have to be exactly within 5 pounds of each other. You have to be exactly within 2 inches of each other, and same hair color, eye color, and even down to skin tones. Sounds very racist in a way. The way they took care of that was they went out there and it's like you can't have girls that have more than B cup chests. Seriously, in those big bulky uniforms, you cannot be girls with too much hips. You have to be so much left to right proportions. They can have men, they can have women in it, and then they just wear like a blue mask. I'm not trying to support Blue Man Group, but that's just how they do it. And this is the same way bread works. You know where the Secret Service are that are undercover in the area. You know where there's a CIA agent that always keeps their badge or something else on them. You know where the undercover cops are or anything else. And you show up there and you go out and you shoot them. I don't know of any way that this could be really construed to something that could be happening now. Then they go over there and they take the badges, everything else, pass them off as themselves. And if they can know people in the area that look similar in nature and build, and it's been 2 or 3 years since they got their stuff done, more better. And then they showed up in Knoxville. And basically, and it wasn't even a person who represented the government, it was one of their group. Because nobody really knew who was really running anything. And he's like, anyone who has a badge or anything of these people is now that, and you continue your investigations on your own turn everything in to this place, tell everyone else, and that's just how they restarted society. And everybody's like, oh, that means I get to go out there and be a. No, you don't. I need to investigate. You really can't. But I, as little retarded person, I don't have body fat. Did you know I'm really a German, but now I'm a Latin because I don't have body fat? That means I'm going to investigate that. Seriously, that's the most intelligent response to anything. Never fear. I get rid of all this. See, when I go, we took that from people because we forced this one group of people to breed with this other, and we took their hand magic. And as it is, since it is anti-Semitic to say if Pope Pius took the badges, which they're not Jews, they're people who interloped and pretended to be Jews back in the Old Testament, and said, when I was sitting there and I was writing this all down, I was the person who was witnessing it all, and you thought that I was a chimp, or else like one of the little monkeys the chimps keep around. I don't really see how anything that I've done in that little bit talking about bread or what they do or any of the stupid things they ever do to try and say that they're this, they're that, they're the top part of society, or any of the forced breeding or other things that they do, and about how people came over, shot people, started living in their houses and passing their badges off, and it became so bad that they then therefore had that, and that's colonizing in a plainclothes army. And instead of just building a city in the middle of wooded Appalachia and showing up and raising the flag of a foreign government or something else with 500 people to 1,000 or 1,500, it just slammed themselves into the swamps of somewhere in Barrier Islands, and then walk across, and you go, that can't really happen anywhere. What is it, Canadians? I don't understand how, in mentioning that it's not talking about a white community or anything that I ever said was white there. And why that's racist, because they're not racist. And how racism is just saying that it's a power designated to a person for them to go out and kill and remove and execute the people that aren't needed in society and organize them as a gladiatorial combat situation. And then if another group does it that is black or dark, why it's not equally anything that's just the same as like a white group. I know the laws don't exist because it wasn't executively signed ordered for it. I just don't understand. Anyway, it's kind of like, a couple of the other people that I know of that got up in politics from whatever it is, saying, well, we got to work with him or something else. But, I got told I was exiled from the United States, which is an impossibility in the United States, from it, and have zero rights under the Constitution. I'm going, I never saw your presidential signature with you saying stuff at me. You know, and they go out there and they talk about how they have Spartacus blood and sand, and I'm like going, yeah, it's the greatest thing that I've seen so far for like pointing out something. Granted, in 10 more years, there'll be something else better. If I had kids, I'd show them exactly where this, that, and the other comes from in Roman society and everything else. Great illustrations off of everything with tribute, everything else like that. Similar to bread, giving bread to the masses, the wine, women, and everything else. But I mean, again, it's just, you know, people really are expendable. And all you really need is, and it's like, you must be the best undercover person in the whole world. You didn't even get jerked during basic training. Anyway, as looking as it is over this, I just gotta look at it and just be like, there's some people who went along with some stuff, did some stuff, fussed about stuff, said a bunch of stuff earlier, and honestly, it makes sense to me because I was sitting around with them, talking with them, and everything else, and they just wanted to get their gladiatorial combat on and say how they had the rights to take over something like WWF or WCW, Monday Night Raw, and now all that we seem to do is have the different groups of white people, like one person said about everything. Granted, that's talking about whatever. It just seems to be like there's gladiatorial combats with each other all the time. In the streets, ran by somebody who's sitting up there popping popcorn or whatever it is. It's ridiculous. Anyway, it doesn't matter if they shot at somebody in one community or another, on the strip, over in the projects, and just try to get whatever badges they could. And it's like, well, at least we got a swipe card to go to Oak Ridge. I was also forgiven. Everything else I also just said, sure, whatever. Anyway, like and subscribe. No, I just rambled along with this one. Wish it could be better, but too many people have died just to have their IDs taken, and then it's like that's when you run that mortgage scam that they talk about, getting locked in so you don't come back and your house is being taken away. It's like, make sure they don't have the person come back so you can have the house taken away. And no one's going to complain when you sell it. Crazy. See ya, folks. Political Minute.